These came to the conclusion, well, it must be water. Because if we observe waters, we see oceans, we see the tides, we see the waves rolling up onto the shore, we see rivers and their current and streams moving, and we don't see anybody pulling them or pushing them. Of course, Thales was not aware of the gravitational pull of the moon and the cause of tides as we look at it from our modern perspective. And so, for Thales, water seemed to solve the problem of ultimate reality, the problem of life, the problem of motion, and that would be the end of the philosophical inquiry, except that those that followed after him suggested other alternatives. Men who came along, such as Anaximander, Anaximenes, Anaxagoras, Pythagoras, but the ultimately two most important philosophers that came along before Plato and Aristotle were Parmenides and Heraclitus. And they were wrestling principally with the same questions that Thales had been examining. And Parmenides, whose works have all but vanished from the face of the earth, except for a few segments that have been fragments that have been discovered, was famous for his profound statement wherein he said, "Whatever is, is." Now, he wasn't running for president of the United States when he said that. And I'll never forget when I was a student in college and the professor very soberly made that announcement in the classroom that whatever is. I said, and this guy's famous? But I, at the same time, have to say that in the study of philosophy, I've never heard anything with deeper significance or greater profundity than that observation by the philosopher Parmenides that whatever is. What was he getting at? He said, if something is real, it can't not be. Non-being is nothingness. Nothingness has no ontological status. It simply is not. We have a man in our live audience today here in Orlando whose last name is Aren't. And every time I see him, I say, "How are you?" And he says, "I aren't." So he is not. So he's just a fig Newton of my imagination, I guess. And he would give all kinds of problems to Parmenides. And so Parmenides said, for anything to exist, there has to be something that is pure, unchanging, immutable, fully actualized being. Something that had no potential left to be realized, but was altogether fully actualized. Because that which is, as Aristotle would observe later, that which is fully actual has no potential. And that which is only potential has no actuality. And so if you, a thing or a person or an object had nothing but potential, that person wouldn't be at all. Well, over against the thinking of Parmenides